Hey, what's up you guys? It's Simon. Welcome back to my channel. So 7-ish months ago, I did a video where I introduced y'all to the ReeYear fine point Apple pencil nibs, and y'all seem to really like that video, but it also had y'all arguing in the comments, so I figured that it is about time I do a little update. Also, before I start the video, since apparently I either didn't mention or it wasn't clear enough in the previous video I did about these nibs, do not use these directly on your iPad screen. Please only use them on either tempered glass or a matte screen protector to protect the surface of your iPad. I can't say for certain if they would or would not cause damage to the surface because I haven't tried it and I won't, but in general it's best to have a screen protector on your iPad anyway to protect it from things like cracks and scratches. So yeah, don't put these directly on your screen and invest in a screen protector. Some of the really nice matte ones go for as cheap as $7 for like 3 screen protectors, a lot of which I have tried out on this channel. So maybe go through some of those videos, see what one you think might work best for you, and grab one for yourself. Now, onto the video. So this illustration is something that I did back in, I think it was either November or December, again during my period of massive art block, and for that day I decided that my art block cure was going to be an aesthetic generator, so that I could kind of have like it was almost like something that works for me to get myself drawing is pretending like I'm in school again and I have an assignment, because just having a prompt makes my brain work. So the prompt that I ended up with was space punk, which is perfect for me because I love, you know, like pastel neon alien-like monster characters with a little bit of an edgy aesthetic. So I thought it was really, really cute. And I sketched this piece out and then I never finished it because I think I was scared because I really liked it. So I was like, well, if I finish it, I'm not gonna like it anymore. And here's the thing, here's the magic about editing this video is I don't know if I like it yet because I haven't seen it. I just know the sketch. I haven't made the illustration yet. So we are finding out how I feel about this piece at the same time on upload day. You can tell me if you like it, and I can tell you guys if I like it, because I don't know yet. I don't know. It hasn't come to fruition yet. But if it does come to fruition and it's really cute, it's probably going to be a sticker. Because when it comes to stuff like this, when I do these little portraits and their designs are really adorable, I make them stickers because I want them tiny. I don't know. I just want to put them on everything. So if it's a sticker, yay. If I hate it, oh well. Anyways, with the art out of the way, let's get on with that update. So I've now had this nib for 9 months, which is almost an entire year. And after all this time, am I still using it? 100% yes. I used the same nib for 8 months, but recently had to switch it out because for the first time during these 9 months that I've been using it, last month, so the 8th month, this is really hard to word because I just switched it, but I used the same nib for primarily the entire time. But anyway, I did notice it start to leave scratches in my screen protector. However, and that might be a moment where you guys are like, haha, we told you it would scratch. However, I don't think that it was actually the fault of the nib, and more so the fault of me being a clumsy dummy. It went from working like completely normal, like I'm talking same day, I used it all day, and in the morning it was perfectly fine, and it went from being completely normal to suddenly leaving large scratches every so often after I dropped my Apple Pencil about 3 or 4 times in a row that day. So my hypothesis is that I somehow managed to damage the actual nib rather than the nib being the cause for the scratches. In fact, I'm almost positive that this is the case because looking incredibly closely at the nib, and I'll try to zoom in as much as I possibly can, but my iPhone camera can only zoom so much on a tiny item before it's like, what are you trying to focus on? I don't know. So if you guys can't see it, I will try to describe it to you. Essentially, when you compare the two of them, there's a gouge on the side of the tip of the one that I was using previously. And this isn't consistent with normal wear on something like this. I would expect the rounded tip to have maybe more of a flattened edge, similar maybe to like a mechanical pencil. Like when you're writing on paper for a long time. And I also use this with a paper like screen protector. So yeah, definitely like a flattened nib, or another example of something that I would expect would be to compare it to the actual Apple Pencil nib when used with a matte screen protector, because it does have a coarse coating on there and it does wear down on things. When using it with a standard nib, it kind of grounds it down into a point, if that makes sense, which is why a lot of artists that use matte screen protectors have to switch out their nibs, whereas someone with like a tempered glass screen protector or no screen protector at all wouldn't have to do so, because the glass screen protector, this glass of your iPad screen, is smooth, so it doesn't damage your nib. So yeah, using a matte screen protector, you would expect it to kind of shave it down, not take a chunk out of it, because that's what it is there's a chunk out of the side. It's like someone took a knife to it and slashed it, if that makes sense. So yeah, there's literally just a chunk of metal missing, which is not the damage that I would expect, and definitely not in the actual area that I would expect either. I would expect it to be more towards the top, but it's literally on the side of the nib, so very weird. As I mentioned before, it was a 180 difference. The day that I had to switch it out, I was working the exact same way that I had for the last 8 months, or it was working the same way. I used it every single day for multiple hours a day for 8 months, only to then have that very same day, after dropping it several times, it start to leave scratches. And I am going to insert some footage of me using the damaged nib alongside me using the nib that I've been using for the last month and a half-ish, so you can see how drastic the difference is. And look at the one that was a month and a half. That's how that pen was performing that morning, that same day. So I'll also film the current state of my screen protector as I started to use them both at the same time, so you can see how they worked together, because a comment that I got multiple times on that video was, it's scratching my screen protector, it's scratching my screen protector. It shouldn't be. My screen protector, the few gouges that you see are from that day where it started to scratch, and I immediately switched it out because I was like, that's weird. Why is it suddenly performing like that? I switched to the other one. It's perfectly fine. You guys can see the difference, hopefully. I also plan to switch out my screen protector anyway, so I don't mind scratching it to show you guys how the damaged one looks. A bit of a disclaimer as well, I'm not switching the screen protector because it's been leaving consistent scratches throughout its entire use, but rather because Paperlike sent me their screen protector months ago, and I keep forgetting to switch it out and film it for them since I wasn't actually obligated to do so. They just wanted to send the product to me. My screen is perfectly usable. I'm just trying to kill two birds with one stone here. I already had a Paperlike screen protector on my iPad, and I wasn't going to switch out a perfectly good screen protector just to film it, especially if I wasn't under I wasn't contractually, oh my god, mouth, I'm chilly, I'm outside again, guys. I wasn't contractually obligated, like I didn't have to record it. They just sent it to me in case I did ever decide to do so. So I was waiting until I wanted to switch my screen protector out, which is now, because I'm scratching it on purpose, not because it's been consistently scratched by this nib. So yeah, anyways, trying to kill two birds with one stone here, but as you guys hopefully saw from the footage, there is a big big difference in how the two nibs behave. I genuinely don't think it was from regular wear, and was rather from me dropping it a bunch of times from a considerable height as well. Most of it was off the top of my desk or while I was holding it, so like a 2 foot to 3 foot drop on hardwood floor, which is not really the best to drop anything on, much less a tiny piece of metal. So that being said, don't feel like you have to be particularly fragile with these things either, because I have dropped my Apple Pencil several times since then, as I often do, and I haven't seen any signs of any damages. So I must have just been particularly brutal with my pencil that day for whatever reason. All in all, you shouldn't be experiencing any sort of scratches with these nibs. If you do, maybe consider how forceful you're being with the nib, or inspect your nib for anything that doesn't look like a smooth, round, metallic surface. That is likely the cause for your scratches. If you purchased these through Amazon, as I did, I'm sure you'd be able to send them back and receive a pair of undamaged nibs, because again, the one that isn't damaged, that doesn't have that gouge, works perfectly fine. Leaves no scratches at all whatsoever. So if you're experiencing big scratches, maybe you have a raised piece of metal or there's a piece of it missing. So really inspect these. They're so tiny, but the tiniest difference can cause the biggest of scratches. So yeah, if you decide to purchase these for yourself, inspect them heavily, make sure they're smooth and round like they should be, and if they're not, send them back. Anyways, as I mentioned in my previous video, that line art was oh no, I'm skipping ahead, so sorry. Anyways, damage argument out of the way. Now we're getting on to usage. Do I still like to use these nibs? So I mentioned in my previous video that line art was taking me considerably longer since I had switched to these nibs. I can definitely say that I have gotten used to it, but overall it's still a bit slower than I used to be. Part of that may, however, be that I have been dissatisfied with my work these last few months, so that may be the true cause for my snail-like pace. It's definitely gotten a bit quicker than it was at the beginning though. Line art used to, for an average portrait, take me only about 20 to 30 minutes. When I first started using this nib, however, it was taking me an hour to 2 hours, and now I'd say it's gone down to roughly 30 to 40 minutes, so not too bad, just a 10-minute difference to what it was previously. Keep in mind though that these are guesstimates and line art time varies from piece to piece. However, I can still, just based on general like flow, tell that my pace has improved since first using this nib, but I am still just the tiniest bit slower. Lately though, I've also been seeing the occasional TikTok or seeing my old YouTube videos and thinking of what it would be like to go back to the standard nib. So let me know below if you guys maybe would want to see a video of me illustrating and sketching, like literally from sketch to finish. Maybe if I can, well, it would have to be sketch to finish because that's where most of the differences lie. So scary, I haven't done sketch to finish in a while, but sketch to finish, using the regular nib versus me using these fine point nibs, and see how that alters kind of like my style and stuff like that. So I haven't quite yet given into the urge to switch it out. It's more like a nostalgia or like wondering, I can't even remember what it felt like to use that nib kind of thing, rather than me being dissatisfied with these now. Just a little curiosity. Anyway, I still am sticking with this nib and I definitely really like it still. I adore the way that I'm able to get really fine details, and I definitely think that it still gives the same impression as a mechanical pencil on paper, which is sometimes, as an artist, a really nice and satisfying feeling. Or no, as a sometimes traditional artist. Man brain and being so cold outside. Anyways, hopefully the end of this video makes sense because I've been so chilly, so I might be rambling and going in circles. Anyways, as a sometimes traditional artist, meaning I sometimes go back to pencil and paper, and then when I go back to digital I kind of crave that feeling. It's really nice to kind of be able to incorporate that into my digital work. So yeah, after 9 months, would I still recommend these fine point nibs? Absolutely. If you're willing to work around the learning curve and like the feeling of traditional artwork and want to implement that into your digital work, definitely give these nibs a try, but once you receive them, inspect them. If they're not smooth, if they're not round, that's why it's scratching. I promise. Like, literally, it's been a year. If I get comments like, it's gonna scratch, it's been 9 months. It's not scratching. It's not scratching. And the one time it did was because I dropped the heck out of it multiple times in a row and then broke it. So, their nibs themselves are fine. Anyways. Also, another argument, if you don't care about the paper-like feeling and just want a fine point, these come with caps to protect your surface. So, if you're worried about scratches, but you want that fine point, put the cap on there. It won't scratch unless it's broken. But if you're extra hyper worried about it, put the cap on. They're there for a reason. It comes with a ton of them. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoy the finished piece. And again, let me know if you want to see the nib versus nib video, or if there are any other niche iPad art accessories you would like me to try. I have been looking at those stupid little like, well, I don't know if they're stupid, maybe they're really useful. Those little like side keypads where they're like little rectangles with like the keyboard shortcuts for stuff like Procreate, which I don't use a lot of shortcuts in Procreate other than the taps, but sometimes they don't work, especially lately. They've been driving me crazy. I'll try to swipe to clear it and it'll like pull my pull the app down and like pull a different one, or pull me to the home screen, and I'm like, stop doing that, it's driving me nuts. So maybe I should get one of those and try it out, but they're $40, so I can't justify it just yet. But if you guys want to see it, I'll do it. Anyways, I'm rambling because I'm freezing cold. I love you guys so much. I hope you liked the video. I hope you like the pens. Let me know what you want to see next. I love you guys. Bye.